What is happening, folks? We have, yes, still no insulation. I've discussed why multiple times. Well, we have a diesel heater and we have a big propane heater in here. I do want to, if I just hang plastic in here, it'll get way warmer at some point. Can you guys hear me good? Because I'm wearing a microphone this time, just for that reason. We got a Winnie kit. Awesome. And I gotta place an order on Amazon here because I'm going to be out of Winnie kit boxes, which is not good. Ten of those. How's it going, folks? We're packing orders. This one is going to Robert in Massachusetts. How's the background noise? So I have a diesel heater that's running in here for the last 2 hours, and now I have a basically a salamander heater, forced air heater, running that's on propane. But I'm packing a Winnie kit right now. If you guys can hear me, I know you guys can't see me. Thank you very much. Hear you just fine. Awesome. Yeah, we got 16 people on. And I'd love you guys to place orders while I'm on the call here. That would be awesome. This is called the sprue, so that glows in the dark there. I don't know if you guys can see that glow at all, but we got the Winnie kit. I know the lighting's not the best either, but that's what we got to work with in the garage. And I'd love to put insulation in here, but at any moment now, a magical house is going to pop up. I'm going to buy that nice house. So I don't want to put a lot of money into my garage and then have to change it out, you know? Not change it, but like change houses. It wouldn't be probably cheap to insulate. It's only 2x4 construction, like 24 on center. Those of you that do construction. Print. And done. All right, horse starter is packed. I shaved my beard off, so I look like I'm 10 years old. No ketchup chat. Yeah, so we got you guys are loving the last video I released. Just how to catch Lakers and salmon lakes, or not salmon, smelt-based lakes. And what I want to hear from you guys, the whole point of this live stream tonight is, one, I'm packing orders, but two, I need ideas for how-to content for this winter. The more ideas, the more you guys ask me questions, the more I steer my videos in that way. So shoot away with questions or like video content ideas. This next order is going to Connecticut for Eric. Do videos on all types of fish and different jigs. I'd love to do that, but that's not how YouTube works. So the more I stay with one species, the more YouTube likes my content. I just find my own little niche audience, basically. So it's kind of like, I don't know, the YouTube channels that focus on like cooking, like the YouTube channel that focuses on gluten-free cooking, like that's the only thing they do, right? But it's a very small niche. So the smaller niche I stay in, the more dedicated my lovely audience is, which would be you guys. But yeah, my jigs work on all sorts of species. I catch rainbows and salmon and all sorts of stuff on my baits all the time. Of course. And we're making a dressed jig right now. You fish in age, I fish. Yes, I'm actually from New Hampshire and I guide in New Hampshire as well. So I'm a registered guide in the state of New Hampshire. There's only about 200 of us to service like 1.6 million people. That's just people in the state of New Hampshire. Then we have tourists, because we're a big tourist state. So I stay pretty busy with guiding, and the YouTube channel and the bait business is the fun thing. Obviously the videos help. So this is the red skirt material. It's silicone, and we put that on a 2-ounce 6/0 heavy duty Bavarian hook. How many alarms you said? I'd like something.
Yeah, not a guy just fit.
So for finicky crappie, so what I found for finicky crappie is the jig has to be like not moving at all. So I don't have a crappie rod out right now, but I have one over there somewhere. So when you drop any sort of jig down, it spirals, especially the small tungstens, they spiral on the way down. So what you want to do is let it drop your jig down mid water column or whatever height they normally you've been seeing them. Let it sit there for a long period of time so it twists and then untwists and then twists and then untwists. And just slowly lift it away from them. I mean, like dead slow. Also, crappie can be really lockjaw if they want to be. And if you're using live scope, I've actually seen them be scared of live scope. So if you feel like they're not biting as a live scope, aim it away from them at the last second. Or what you can do is get a 2D sonar and try that instead. So there's the dress jig. Comes in a 3-pack.
Trying to see all the comments here. Not a guy just. I don't know why. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know who's moderating this, but thank you. So my prices are $100 an hour. I don't set that. Well, I set that price obviously, but all the guides in my area are that price. And they get really mad when somebody else comes in and undercuts them. So it's $100 an hour. Ice fishing, I run 4-hour trips. You can run longer than that if you want to. And then summertime, I run 5-hour trips just because the weather's nicer and stuff. Technically, it should be the other way around, but not always. Like ice fishing's definitely harder than open water fishing. Yeah, $100 an hour, $400 plus tip if you find necessary. People tend to tip around 20%, or they don't tip at all. Which I know is a lot of money for a lot of people. But I have people coming from Michigan this year to come out and fish. I got people from New York State quite often. Maine, Vermont. I have people that from Florida that came up this summer to fish with me. Connecticut, I get quite a few from Connecticut as well. It's a 2-inch pin smelt. And I'm putting what's called worm oil in there. Awesome, thank you for booking with me. You don't have to disclose your name. I have a few booked in February, actually. But if you do get my baits, they're the smaller ones are packed in basically a mineral oil. We call worm oil in the industry, but it just helps them not stick to each other. Allows them to allows you to pull them out of the bag without them sticking together. And then since I'm so conscious, like I'm making plastic, people are dropping plastic in the lakes and stuff, I try to combine my jigs as much as possible. Two white and two chartreuse in the same thing. So you'll get mixed colors, and it's only just to save the planet basically and save money. In New Hampshire, what do you recommend to jig for Lakers? The Winnie kit, which is I just booked. I just packed for you guys. It's this small jig here with a 2-inch plastic on it. I mean, majority of my Lakers, I caught about 500 Lakers this year in my boat. Almost all of them have been on that jig. And then my 1-ounce one, just because I fish in different lakes. So I need to step off camera here for a second. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Five, 6. Check him up. 6. And I don't know if you guys have a garage, but if you ever want to manufacture out of your garage, buy another storage building to keep all of your other stuff in, because having everything in one garage, like all the tools to fix the old house that I live in, and then all the other stuff, it's a lot in one house. Or one garage, I mean. Like, I'd love to have, I have this side of the garage basically just bait making stuff, and then the other side, everything else. Hoping to try some of your jigs this weekend in Champlain. Awesome. So I've never done a live stream on how I make my baits, and the reason for that is I wear a industrial ventilation mask, and you cannot hear a frickin' thing. If one of you just placed an order, thank you very much. I just saw an order come through. I appreciate that a ton. But yeah, so I don't do live streams when I'm making baits because of I wear a big helmet and face mask and stuff like that. I might make some, like, a random color this winter or something like that when I get a chance, and then do like a whole video where I make baits and then go out and fish with them later. But our lake trout season in my state of New Hampshire is not even open yet. So the Lakers you guys have been seeing are actually in Vermont. Last 2 videos. These are my grubs. These are they're clear, but they glow chartreuse. They glow super bright. And I wish you guys could see them right now, but not with the light on. And I don't make all my baits. These are actually made in Ohio by another bait maker because I couldn't keep up. Actually, you know what? So I have a UV light. So I'm glowing it up. Look at that glow right there. That's what the light's on. What am I selling? Hoping to try. So I'm selling fishing baits. So swim baits. Stuff basically specifically for lake trout. That's my specialty. And I sell them and make them in this garage for the most part. My jigs are made in Massachusetts. So these are my 4.75-inch glow swim baits called the Hammers. And this person ordered 2 packs of those. So there's 1 pack. And I gotta get another pack. so much stuff in my garage. It's kind of insane. So I buy hundreds of jigs at a time. Hundreds and hundreds of these little guys. I've also sold thousands of them, obviously. And if you guys have ever used my baits, I want any picture that you guys have using my baits, catching fish. Doesn't matter what the species is. Prefer it to be lake trout, obviously.
Share it with me. Awesome. Let's show.
Yeah. So benditfish.com is the website. There should be a link somewhere on the thing here. I'm trying to pack this order here. It's a big order, a couple hundred plus dollars, which I love. And I'd love to offer free shipping, but I can't. It's just not financially worth it. I've been doing this for about 4 years of selling jigs and stuff like that. And this year was the best year yet. Said that last year too. Thanks to you guys. All right. So the way that I pack orders is top to bottom, and then I fill the shipping bag from bottom to top so I don't forget. So a couple pairs of those. And this is pretty normal order. They're ordering kind of, they're going somewhere where there's big lake trout. I'm guessing this guy's going to Sebago, even though he's from Connecticut, as I recognize the last name, and I think this is one of his friends. 2X 3-inch swim bait, 3/8 ounce jigs, and then we have pearl swim baits and 1/4 ouncers, and then we have the pre-rigged chartreuse glow skirt stuff. But thank you, Eric in Connecticut. And I think next I have a priority mail order, which I don't get very often. I get a lot in the summertime because people are like, I have a trip coming tomorrow. Can you ship stuff tomorrow? I'm like, I guess so. Try to meet everybody's needs, because that's how I buy stuff too. I'm like, I have a trip coming up. Let me spend a bunch of money on this trip. I know you all do it. I know you do. Try this heater off. It's freaking loud as shit. Is that better? I'm sure it wasn't bothering you guys, but it's bothering me. No, so I've never fished Lake Ontario. I fished the Salmon River twice in the last 10 years or so for salmon and then steelhead. Well, my plan is to go out to Lake Ontario this year. It's like hard to get out there, and I have one person that can give me some insider intel. But going to the big O blind is not a smart choice. But yeah, I'd love to go out there at some point and hammer some big Lakers. Yeah, now this one is the swim bait bag. So the swim bait bag is super popular. And if I was to if I was to buy something for somebody that had my top sellers in it, or like the best option to catch a lake trout for your first time, it would be the swim bait bag, because it has small, medium, and large size baits in it, so it covers all your bases. So if you're on a lake like Champlain, you can use the large style baits. If you're on Sebago, you can use the medium and the larges. And then if you're pretty much anywhere inland, Vermont, Maine, you can use the small and medium sizes. So I'll show you guys everything here in a minute. It takes a hot minute to pack because it's got 6 individual bags of stuff inside a bag.
Miles Winter in Utah.
Yeah, I've heard you guys are not getting cold and you're not getting snow, and you guys, the people that are normally skiing out west, are coming out here to ski, because we've been getting hammered with snow, especially up in the Jay Peak area. They got, I think, over 100 inches or so. Some powder, which is very cool for them. I personally just like just enough snow to make it not look gray. So we had rain and then warm. All the snow disappeared, and just snow 2 days ago. So we had a white Christmas, but not snow on Christmas, which is fine. Though we stayed home and did just home Christmas stuff. And so this kit comes with 1/4 ounce, 3/8 ounce, and then 1 ounce. So small, medium, and large. This one's going to Tyler up in Machias, Maine. I think I pronounced that right. Or Machias. Probably murdering that, but that's all right. Someone's got to say it wrong. Might as well be me. And then it comes with the small swim bait, this is the 2 ounce one. And thank you for placing your order. This is the 2-inch one. Super popular. This is the one that's been hand designed and tested by me. This is I had 1, 2, 3. This is version number 4 of a smelt style size bait, because we wanted something that kicked, but we wanted something that was small profile, that looked like a smelt. So this covers all the bases for that. It's 10 in a pack, and it's made with heavy duty plastic. We call it saltwater plastic, so it's meant for predator style fish. If you go and use let's say a bass swim bait, like a Kitech or something like that, you will be ripping through plastics nonstop all day. And if you're going on a good lake or bite, like, it could be the matter of you're changing stuff out, and that big fish will come through, and then you're kind of screwed. So you don't want to be changing baits out all the time. So my stuff's a little more expensive. It's harder to deal with. I would love to come to New Zealand. One place I haven't been invited to. Get invited to Canada. I guess you got invited to Canada twice this week.
Said hi, thank you very much.
Yeah, I've watched some fly fishing videos in New Zealand. It's pretty crazy down there. I'm a big fly fisherman, not so much anymore now that I do just Laker stuff. And if I get to it tonight, I actually have an order going to Sweden. I have orders to go to Sweden and Norway quite often, because apparently they have lake trout. I have orders to go to Florida because my stuff is, like I said, saltwater rated. So I've had a couple of subscribers. They are snowbirds, and they use my stuff in the summertime on like Lake Champlain. And they're like, these would be great for redfish. And then here's the big baits. So small, medium, large style baits, zipped in a nice semi-weatherproof bag. The zipper's not weatherproof, but the bag is. So keep the rust out of there, keep the moisture out of there. And then I ended up just using these bags for like just random stuff. It's funny, like my boat has all ice fishing, like all my content in there, all my jigs. And then I have like random bobbers and stuff if I want to switch over to crappie fishing. I've done one crappie guide trip this fall, which was super fun for a charity. This one's priority mail, which normally I ship them out like the next day, but yesterday was Christmas. And I also didn't realize today was a shipping day, so I kind of spaced that one out. But that's all right. It's my fault. He'll get it before New Year's because it's only a couple hours away. Priority mail is probably 2 days from me. And just so you guys know, I make zero money on shipping. It's probably not the best business idea. But I don't make any money on shipping. I make it all on the profit of my baits. This is glow white split tail, and I had a limited release of smaller ice fishing baits that came out this winter that I'm going to discontinue here again in a moment because I know they work because I've caught fish on them for sure. But this is 10 of them on a stringer basically. But this is the 1.2 inch mini split tail, which basically mimics like little baby fry fish for crappie or for stock trout, which is what I made them for. But yeah, they look great. They work great. They glow in the dark. And then they also bought Glow Smelt 2. So this is probably my most powerful common swim bait, which is a 2-inch glow chartreuse. So it's basically clear. It mimics like a fry, basically a fry fish that doesn't have fully developed scales or anything yet. It's kind of like translucent, see-through. And then it glows chartreuse, so it stands out like a sore thumb, especially if you're digging deep. And probably the most question I get asked is like, what depth are you targeting lake trout at? Saw it in my last video. It's between 20 feet all the way down to like 80 feet. I like to do in the wintertime for most lakes. Sebago is a little bit different animal in the wintertime, just because alewives are not supposed to be in that lake, and they tend to. That's really the main and only bait in that lake. That's where those fish tend to hide out. So that's where we fish for them. Super, super deep. 1, 2, 3. And this one's going to Jesse up in Center Ossipee, who I've met multiple times on the ice, actually. I haven't talked to him in a while, but met him on the ice a few times. And let me know if I'm frozen. You guys are not commenting. Let me... YouTube. Headphones channel. Your channel. Gotta watch my own stupid ad. And there's a delay. Big screen. Can you guys hear me? Yes or no? I don't think I'm frozen here. Though I can't hear myself. That should work. Though I can't hear myself. Yeah, I'm not frozen. That's good. Awesome. Yeah, for whatever reason, especially when I'm out on the lake, the live tends to freeze, and I'm talking to myself for freaking 20 minutes before I realize, because there's no notification. Like, it does not say like, oh, you lost internet. The video still works and everything still works, that everybody just stops talking. So I want you all to pause for a second, all 14 of you, 15 of you online. I know that number's not always active or accurate. Think of a video idea for me. So I get video ideas from you folks, and then I release them. Or based on comment. One of the ones I'm going to do right now is what depth to target Lakers. And then I have a new one of those auto jigging things. Looks kind of weird, but auto jigging bases, basically. Not for the jaw jacker, for a different style rod, universal rod. Then I'm going to do a video of that, and then I'm also going to do a video I'm filming on New Year's Day and New Year's Eve. So look out for a live stream on New Year's Eve. Yeah, look out for a live stream. I'll be on for sure. The lake I fish is going to have good service. We might change lake that's supposed to be really flippin' cold. The 2 nights we're supposed to go, and I'm bringing my kiddo along, and I don't want his first ice camping experience to be frozen over, you know? Then he'll never come with me again. And his mother would probably kill me, so. I don't want that. No frostbite on kids. Ideally. So we're going to do 3/8 ounce. So this is a very common order. This one's going to Caratunk, Maine. We have the 3-inch swim baits, and then we have the 3/8 ounce glow jig heads. Now these, I'll tell you right now, there's nothing worse than bending out a hook or breaking a hook on a lake trout. These are Mustad HD heavy duty hooks, so the gauge is probably 20 thousandths more than it would be if it was a bass hook. So they're strong ass hooks. Because there's nothing worse than straightening out a hook. On a lake trout. Trust me, I've done it. I've actually broken a hook on lake trout on the hook set. So is my buddy Ryan. Not happy. Not happy, not happy. And I wish this light wasn't in the way. I can actually turn it off, and then I wouldn't be able to see what I'm doing. So, how not to flood a pop-up hat? I'm an idiot. You should totally do a travel video. Yeah. Well, so that last video that you guys just watched, hopefully, that was in Vermont. And I open water fished that lake this summer, thanks to a friend subscriber of mine who gave me some intel. And I almost packed the wrong jigs for this guy. That would have been bad. 1, 2. attack chartreuse instead of white. How not to flood your shack? Well, the last 2 times I've slept on the ice, so I normally only sleep on the ice once a year, and that's New Year's, because those videos do well, but they're such a pain in the ass. Like I have to lug so much gear out. I'm away from the family. I never sleep well. The bite can be great, and the bite can be crappy, obviously, for any style of fish. I'm gonna switch this around here. Hold on. Here we go. I bought this cheap little lapel mic from my cell phone. The thing sounds great. I think it was like $20. Don't know how long the battery lasts though. That's an issue. But I'll do like a vlog style video. I'll do a vlog style video for where I'm going. Most people know where I go on New Year's. It's not a secret. Some people make fun of me for it, like, oh, he goes up north and catches small Lakers. But if that's the only place I can go fish that has ice, then that's where I'm going to go. So our season opens at midnight on January 1. And last year we can fish in the dark, and this year we can fish in the dark. So I'll be doing some night fishing, which is going to be fun. And that order is from yesterday. Or someone booked a guide trip with me in Alton Bay in June, which should be fun. June's probably, I don't know, I don't really have a favorite month to target Lakers. I like targeting them in the spring because it's the safest time to target Lakers. The oxygen level's up high. There's bait moving around everywhere. The water's cold, so you're not worried about shocking them from cold to hot. There's no thermocline, so there's no glass ceiling for Lakers to stop and run at, and stop at, basically. So spring is probably the best. Yeah, I was down there last time, and my first ice this year, people were still deer hunting, and I heard he must have been on the other side of the lake, like right in the field I was looking at. Someone shot a deer as I was like walking on really thin ice. You guys saw in that first video. Scared the shit out of me. It's like bang, and I was, not ready for it. And then there was duck hunters last time I was down there too. Remember when I used to bass fish Champlain? I was fishing in the fall. And I came around this island. I'm like, oh, this is a nice freaking juicy spot, right? And I came around and I'm like, oh, there's like weird floating geese decoys in the lake. That's weird. Or I didn't realize they were decoys. And there's a bunch of guys sitting on the shoreline with guns. So I'm like, sorry, I didn't realize you guys are, duck hunting, geese hunting here. Yeah, so I'm got this technique I always carry a notepad around with me. Sounds nerdy, but how to choose a lake and where to fish. And then what was the other one we just had? I just threw it away. What depth? Yeah, I've had about 900 freaking people ask me about the Lake Champlain Bridge, and I don't like that ideally, but and I'm sure multiple people drove to the bridge after seeing my video and my cousin's video, who was there with me, and the other guy who filmed down there from Connecticut, Mastercaster, went there and then saw it was open water and was probably pissed. But that's why I try not to disclose my location. Bridge is obviously obvious. I could stay in my shack the whole time, but even people get pretty onto like the color of the fish, the lamprey bites. Becomes pretty obvious pretty quick. So I don't try not to disclose lakes. I don't really need to most of the time. And how I pick lakes most of the time is by lakes that have lots of fish in them, because I'm not a trophy chaser. And that's a business decision, because if I was chasing 30-inch, I was chasing like monster lakers here from New Hampshire, like 30-inch plus fish, you guys would only see a video every once in a while, if that. And it would be the best way to catch a big monster is live bait or dead bait on the bottom. That's my opinion. Or literally grinding out all day with a big swim bait or a big tube with a big piece of sucker on it. And I don't have the patience for that. And two, it doesn't really make for a great video. But I'm going to try it again this winter if I have time. We should have lots of ice this winter. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. This order's going to Greg in Rochester, New York. Swim bait kit, 6-inch grubs, and then basically 4-inch glow tubes, which I'm going to do a video on tubes this winter too. Second that. Yeah, how not to flood your pop-up. So the best way I can describe it is put down those stupid floor mats, which I hate doing because I usually only sleep on the ice like one night. So if it's a puddle in the morning, it's not a big deal. That puddle in the morning, that puddle in the shack actually helps lower, it raises the humidity in the shack, which, like hot air and humid, you don't have to run your heater on as high. Does that make sense? Like there's the relative humidity mindset. Like that's why in the summertime, if it's hot and humid, you need to cool off more. But you don't want your ceiling dripping. So what I do is I put a 12-volt fan on the ceiling, and I aim that down, or I actually aim it like kind of at an angle in the corner, so it like spirals air around the shack. And then you put floor mats down. I have heard that people are switching, like most people have the 1/2-inch ones, which I have a pair of them on the floor over there when I'm making baits because my garage is not really heated. But I use those on the floor. I'll be using those this winter for my New Year's trip just because of my son. And I hate waking up to, use the facilities outside the shack in the middle of the night and have to put your boots on and stepping in a big puddle. Nothing worse than stepping in a puddle, But we had rain and super warm last year to the point where we had fish, hooked a fish, landed it, came off on the ice next to us and swam around in the shack and then went back down the hole. I probably had that happen a couple times. Another way to make your shack not flood is if you're on thin ice or thinner ice than like a foot, let's say, keep all of the weight away from the shack. So don't shovel the snow. Just build your home base right on top of the snow. Pack it down so the snow helps insulate and absorb some of the water from the ice. And like I use a snow dog during the ice fishing season to tow my butt and my clients around. What I suggest is I keep my snow dog like 30 feet away from my shack. Just it's less weight next to you. Propane tank is away is as far as the hose can reach. Like keep everything weight away, because you and a buddy and all your gear start to weigh down that ice in that spot, and that pushes water up and out of the hole. And you won't notice it like as you're setting camp up, but in the morning you'll notice. You'll notice for sure. And then if it's really thin ice, like I was just describing where water's coming in, do not shovel snow around your skirt if it's supposed to freeze the next day. My buddy Seth, who I So the guy, my buddy who I sleep on the ice with usually, he did that one year. We had to chisel out a shack, chisel the ice off the skirt of a shack for like, I don't know, an hour and a half with a couple of spud bars because it just froze back in overnight. Might be a little bit drafty, but save yourself the next day. We're supposed to get some snow tomorrow. I might go check some ice tomorrow. I have some clients that want to go out January 2nd, but I'm supposed to be ice fishing that day. And you never know, one of my ice fishing videos could go viral and I can make more money than a guide trip on it. Some of my videos that make more money than a guide trip on.
Yep, that's the biggest thing. Good advice. Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, so how I pick lakes is, you know, lakes that have lots of Lakers in them. Champlain, Newfound Lake. Lakes that are healthy. Winnipesaukee going downhill because of spiny water flea, which is unfortunate. Newfound will do the same. And to the point where I don't know what I'm going to do guiding wise, I'll have to venture out to other lakes. We're getting there on orders though, which is good. Now this one is going to Magnus in Sweden. And hopefully I have enough of what he wants. I'm hoping. So these are not pre-rigged. I need 4 sets of those. And I'm tempted to put his product in a box instead of a normal mailer. So this is a product, everybody says they should patent on it, but patents are super expensive for silly things. So this is a 6-inch uncut right now. It's going to cut here in a second. This is a glide tube. Very popular. Catches big fish. Ram.
Did it go up to
I don't know what that means.
there?
So I got to cut some tubes here. I have an arbor press just at a frame here. And there's the 6-inch tube. These are not the easiest to cut when they're below freezing temperature, but this is a 2-ton arbor press, probably 1 ton actually. And then I got this poor guy. So DHL is really the only way to ship to, cost-effective way to ship to Sweden. So they pay an arm and a leg to get it there, and then they got to pay taxes when they get it there because it's Europe, obviously. It's a lot of money, but they can't get good tackle over there for Lakers for whatever reason. So I'm the guy. I couldn't figure out how to ship to Sweden for a long time. My first order that I tried to ship to Norway through the U.S. Post Office, it went from here to Norway, and then the guy didn't pick it up or something like that, and then it went to Brazil, and it came back to my house. So basically, after that, I gave up shipping to Europe. But my last few ones, knock on wood, have gone nicely. No, these don't go up to 12-inch. They only go up to 6. And I do have an 8-inch tube over there. The thing's an absolute beast. Called the Big Bertha, which I've never actually fished myself, but I've had a lot of people ask for bigger tubes. So I sold them. And I'm getting cold in here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 5, 10. Start with that. So these are all the tubes. Uncut. One. You're going to do this 3, 6, 9, 12 times. Two. Thank you guys for watching, obviously. I don't know how many. It says I have 15 orders left to pack, but some of those are guide trips, so I use the same system for orders as I do for guide trips. Makes it easy. I like to have phone calls with all my clients before I take them out, so I'm doing the right thing. I have some clients that want to just go catch fish and learn, and some just want to learn about live scope, because I'm one of the only ones around here that kind of teaches it and does it. And I had one guy that just wanted he's like, I'm buying a boat and I want your help speccing it out. So I helped him figure out what he needed for boat stuff, kind of like mine. Had him out I think I had him out in my new boat. I don't think I had him out in my new boat. I had him on my old boat. And I've had lots of interesting clients so far. And I have some clients that are now friends, which is kind of cool. Talk to them on a regular basis. Put a little more weight into that one. Where are you guys from? Where are you watching this from? I know I get a lot of people from the Midwest, so Great Lakes area, so large part of my audience. I think a lot of my my buyers are, I think it goes New Hampshire, Maine, Mass, I think. Hampshire, New Hampshire. I will not be fishing Winnipesaukee next week, unless the weather gets colder and then up north, and then I might stay down south, just because I'm going to have my kiddo with me. I promised him I was going to take him out camping last year. I'd like to camp in the back of my truck, go to some dispersed camping, and then like literally set up a couple cots in the back of my truck. And I didn't get a chance to do it last year because I was too busy, and I didn't do it this year because I was too busy. So I'm taking him ice camping with me. I'm worried that it's going to be too cold. It's supposed to be like -6. And New Hampshire, king of states. I like it. Yeah, we're a pretty good state. Born and raised here. My parents are first generation, or I'm first generation from New Hampshire, so I have a little bit of the New Hampshire accent. My son has a lot of New Hampshire accents. It's actually kind of funny. I'm like, where do you get this Boston accent from? It's from kids at school. Live free or die, man. Well, I've lived in Connecticut and I've lived in Vermont for a while. I lived in Mass for a couple of months between jobs. Right outside of Boston. Good old Bean Town. So what's tomorrow? Today's Friday, right? Dang it. So DHL only picks up on, I'll see if they'll pick up tomorrow. They usually only pick up during the week. So it's fun, like DHL is obviously smaller than UPS and FedEx, but it's free for them to drive down my dead end street and pick stuff up for me. So, and their stuff's relatively cheap internationally, so I use them for international. USPS does the majority of my business and also loses the majority of my stuff. Bought some stuff on sale the other day, and it's $300 worth of stuff. And unfortunately, what happened was the post office, the label came off of the package I was supposed to get, and somebody at the post office literally stuck it to somebody's golfing stuff. So I got somebody's golfing stuff. Which I don't golf. I've golfed before and I don't like it. Not that I don't like it. Not my thing. All right, so there's a dozen tubes. This goes in there. Or not. Sorry if that crinkling super loud. Probably never going to use that, so that way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, what else you guys got for video ideas? More the merrier. More ideas the merrier. I should probably have I almost went live on Facebook instead of YouTube. I'm glad I didn't. So I'm on a bunch of platforms, obviously. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and I do a little bit on TikTok. You should do more, but I don't. But Facebook has to be the most toxic. Like people just, they know best. They know everything on Facebook, for sure. What ice looks safe, how I should be jigging, live scopes for people that don't know how to fish. All that jazz. And it's like Facebook groups, it's like the worst. So I belong to Facebook groups, but I don't post on any of them. These take forever. I should charge more for them. I gotta cut all the tubes, and then I gotta prep all the skirts, and then I gotta put all the skirts on the jigs, and then I gotta put the jig in the tube. It's a lot of steps. But there are 140 krones. Anybody knows what the conversion for that to the United States is. But we're still working on the order for the guy in Sweden. I think these are in packs of 50. I'm gonna have to order more of these bad boys. No, I don't think we're in a tariff war with Sweden. I doubt it. Don't know if we get anything from them. I'm sure we get stuff. I'm sure we get stuff from them. All right, there's 4. I'm going to do 4 jigs. So we got a bunch of people from New Hampshire. And I know it's Friday. Friday's probably my lowest. So usually Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays are my highest watch times. My demographic's like 98% male. So I think I only know one, actually never met her, one girl that ice fishes. I'm sure there's more than that out there, but. So there's the jig and the skirt. Got to trim that up so it looks all nicey nice. And there we go. since this order is going overseas and reshipping on my end would be crazy expensive. Make sure everything is perfect.
How we doing? We're doing good. Hey, Burke. Main up in here.
Yep, tubes are a phenomenal lake trout bait, but I don't actually use them a lot. I'm going to try to use them a little more this winter. I have my 4-inch tube that I sell a metric ton of. I'll probably try to use some on Pittsburgh, where I'm going for New Year's. There's one pack. Packing an order that's going to Sweden. Ja. Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas. And I'm going to be doing a live stream on New Year. So if you guys want to join the live stream, we will be fishing right at midnight. That's legally when we can fish. That one done, and my hands are all slippery, so I want to make sure I do all these things first. Thank you. I'm doing good. How you doing? Yeah, I'm super glad I got out on Champlain. I did not know there was ice. I knew there was some ice out there. There's a webcam on the New York side that showed no ice, but I had some insider intel saying, "Oh, there could be ice." And then I was there the next day, and there was ice. I think one other YouTuber, part-time YouTuber, beat me out there, unfortunately. Try to be first. As much as I can, obviously. But yeah, I'm glad I went, because literally that Friday, I went Tuesday, I think. And then my cousin went Tuesday and Wednesday. I should have gone back Wednesday. I guess the bite was on fire. And then by the time, after that storm came through, the wind blew it apart and the warm weather blew it apart. So that's Champlain for you. And a lot of people are scared of Lake Champlain, and you should be. She can get angry pretty quick. I've gone from flat, calm seas to 8-foot waves in like under an hour there. Like you could hear the storm coming up the lake. But I learned to boat and I learned to bass fish on Champlain. So I bought my first boat up when I lived up there. And so all the other lakes that I fish, that I've been in boats in, including my ocean, including Atlantic Ocean or outside of the Merrimack River and stuff like that, for stripers is not that scary. Just got to respect it. Like anything. Yeah, I haven't fished St. Albans. I bet you the last time I fished St. Albans Bay, the wind, it was open water on the main part of the lake, behind the bay or out of the bay. Open water that the wind was blowing so hard, the ice is moving up and down probably a foot. And I tell people that story, they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, you got to go. If you want to sell white perch, that's the place to go." For whatever reason, they like that spot. Yeah, that was probably, oof. My son is 6, so probably a decade ago at this point. At least, since the last time I fished St. Albans Bay. One of the first places I ever bass fished, like in a bass tournament. Was there. No idea what I was doing. Still packing this order for Sweden. It's a big order. Yeah, money-wise is a big order, but also it has a lot of labor. A lot of labor in it. Yeah, I bet you Champlain was good. Probably Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe Thursday, and then it was crap. So maybe 4 days. So like safe, reasonable safe ice. I probably could have fished it that. Stupidly fished it earlier than that. All right, there's pack 2 out of 3 out of 4. Got one more to go. Yeah, lots of pike in Champlain. Actually, probably my first one ever was out of Champlain as well, since New Hampshire doesn't have a lot of pike when I was growing up. And when I used to do bass tournaments up there, they'd be so freaking obnoxious. Like, you reel in a Senko or anything too fast, it's guaranteed you're going to get smoked by a pike. And you either had to fight it, or you would just lose patience and just break your line off on purpose. That's how many pike are up there. And you guys want to hear something crazy? Yeah, I just saw that Mallets was locked up. Someone just commented on that on social medias. I know Mallets is not great for lake trout, but I think it used to be. Mallets has lots of pike in it too. I think Vermont is the only place that you can shoot pike with a shotgun. Which is pretty crazy. Shotgun, handgun, bow and arrow, whatever you want to shoot them with. It was a 1 month season in the spring, and I've always wanted to do a video on it, and it would either be make me go viral, or it would get pulled down by YouTube. But I think there's videos on YouTube of people shooting those Asian carp that are out Midwest. Area. All right, I think I'm going to ship this in one of my normal containers. Though it freaking took forever. So I put it in a box. It's going to be way more expensive. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 and 6. And that wing got folded over here. Since he's in Sweden, he gets a business card. So I got to put more in my wallet because I gave my last 2 to a guy at Bass Pro Shop. And I don't think DHL does pickups on Saturdays. But dang, that's expensive shipping. So $61 to ship to Sweden, which is actually relatively, if you look at it, it's pretty cheap. In the grand scheme of things. When you can't get any of this stuff overseas. For whatever reason, I'm not sure why. But I gotta set that one aside. Can't mix it in with the normal stuff. Yeah, no, it's definitely weird. How's it going, Okeechobee, Florida? I have some orders that go to Florida, mainly for redfish saltwater stuff, because my plastic is so rugged. Yeah, so we can shoot carp here in New Hampshire, which is pretty sweet. And the carp guys would cry about that, but I know a lot of states are opening up. Great Lakes are opening up like spearfishing, where you can literally go out and snorkel around with a spear gun. You can shoot walleye and all sorts of game species. Same with Alaska, which is severely selective harvest. So if you had 2 lake trout that you're allowed to shoot at a certain, I mean, you don't know, there's no catch and release. Like, oh, if it's 29 inches and the limit's 30, like you shot something too small. But it's selective harvest. Like, you can only shoot one thing and you get it, and that's it. You go home. I'm packing orders over here. Packing a Winnie kit. That doesn't go in there. Don't tell me I'm out of baits. That was almost out of baits. Be right back in a second.
One more color to choose from here.
I think Tuesday I have to make more baits across the board. So these are the glow 2-inch pin smelts, or 2-inch smelts. I sell it in 3-inch, and then once you get above that, you're basically switching to like Cisco's style food. This one's going to Dan in Maine, Surrey, Maine. So I make all of them except for, I'll show you. The grub I don't make anymore. So I sell thousands and thousands of the grubs to everybody. And then the hammers I don't make anymore. They're not made in China, they're made in Ohio. So I had all the molds. I bought all the molds, and then I actually have a guy in Ohio make them. And then he mails them back to me, and then I mail them out. Just because I needed more time back. And I don't have a conditioned space to work in. Like, he has a nice air-conditioned shop to work in. I don't. So summertime really sucked.
What do you use for glow, depth, time of day?
So when do you use glow? I use glow pretty much all the time. So Lakers love chartreuse, and they love the UV spectrum. So I pretty much use glow all the time. I only have 2 baits that don't glow is my chartreuse pin smelts and then my white pin smelts. If I find them finicky and they don't want chartreuse, they don't want that glow at all, then I'll switch to those two. But for the most part, I always use glow. And then time of day, I'll tell you right now that most of my bigger fish, actually all my bigger fish, have come between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But I've Laker fished. I find like as soon as it gets dark in the afternoon, the bite shuts off. But I've caught fish at midnight, so I tend to vary on and go out as soon as it gets light out, because that's the time I have available. Like that's the time that works for my family, is to go out early in the morning. Another Winnie kit. I'm gonna place the order for these this stuff right now on Amazon before I forget. A bunch of those, save for later. I mean, I don't know if I need this or not, but we're gonna. That'll arrive on Monday. That'll also arrive on Monday. I love Amazon. It's just, they're a giant conglomerate, but you know, a lot of my inventory comes to them. So time of day is all the time. Bright and early. I've heard a couple other YouTubers, people that post information. Lakers have bankers hours. They're like 9 to 5, and then they kind of shut off. I find that kind of true. But last year I was catching them at midnight, and I was catching them all the way through the day. I do find that noon slows down a little bit. And it might be because I'm hungry and I'm usually eating and I'm missing fish anyways. But I wouldn't say that's always the case. We'll be right back, folks. I'm just trying to get some more stuff. We only got 5 people on. I know it's getting late. And that's all right. It's also Friday. I'd rather be out. Not partying, but I'd rather be out fishing, actually. I am a firm believer in adding scent to your baits. So, in New Hampshire, now that I've guided for the last 2 years, a year and a half, year and 3/4, basically, I got my guide's license in April. And I've talked to some biologists and I've talked to some other people. About 1 Laker an hour is good for someone who's a beginner. That's what I found good. So you're up 5 hours, you catch 5 Lakers. Great. If it's less than that, it might be just a different style lake. So Newfound's good for 1 an hour. Winipesaukee is good for one every, depending on the spot, about an hour, hour and a half. So that's what I consider good. And then most of our lakes in New Hampshire, and people I'm sure will whine about this no matter what I say, but our lakers are stunted because of what they eat. They eat tiny little smelt, and they eat thousands of them. But imagine if you were eating sardines all the time, and that's the only thing you ate. Like, you wouldn't grow a ton either, or you grow really slow. So lakers grow very slow. Once they get past that 5-year mark, like the 20-inch mark, it's like an inch a year after that. So it's very slow. So that's what I considered a good day, about 1 an hour. Best I've done is I've done 30 in New Hampshire. I've done 30 in 5 hours or so, whatever that math equals out to. And that's filming. So I catch less fish when I'm filming because I'm talking to the camera. I'm messing with batteries. It's the whole production, as you guys can tell from my content. So that's what I consider a good day. And then scents like Procure and the smelt scent that I recommend matters a ton. So if you can't do scent, get some dead shiners and rub it all over your bait. Do what you got to do. Garlic scent I've used before as well. Just something, if you ever take one of my plastics and you bite into it to make it shorter, that plastic tastes terrible. So they're smelling that, especially on the chase. They're smelling that for probably 30, 40 feet, depending on how deep you're fishing. Sebago up to 160 feet. Like, they'll chase, and if it doesn't smell right, they won't always commit. So Procure works. What's the other brand I always suggest for you guys? Atlas Mics. Gulp is a good scent as well, which I wonder if I can just buy Gulp scent. I think you can. I think you can buy, like, probably not off Amazon because it's hard bait fishing gel. Gulp Alive. Gulp Alive Minnow. Gulp Alive Attractant. Gulp Alive Liquid Recharge. You don't need a spray bottle of it. Smelt. I think I'm going to be... No, we got another order. I don't know if I'm going to have this one's going to Alberta, Canada. Have you been out on Winnie yet this season? I've been interested in making a trip up to Alton Bay. Alton Bay is not completely frozen last time I saw it. It's homemade smelt and olive. Ridge Runner Baits in Central Lot has homemade smelt and olive oil. I put some on this mountain the last time I was there. Are they... Let me look up them. Products. Huh. They're not for sale here. Fish 307. Who's Fish 307? Fish 307, is that Maine? Oh, that's Buzzard Rocks. Oh, Fish 307's, they sold it. Como. Highly effective minnow. Interesting. I would love to come out with my own, like, smelt scent or partner with company. And get my name out there at the same time, but I just always too many irons in the fire, you know what I mean? So that one's not ideal. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. We're going to dip that in there and get that clean there. Yeah, they sold their stuff to Fish 307, which is a bait shop that is right next to Lake George, which I got the luxury of visiting this summer and like got to tour their shop before they were open. They didn't know who I was, but I knew who they were because I went down there and was looking for the stupid permit to fish the lake. Because you need a pass to fish the lake, and then you need, kind of like we have now in New Hampshire, it's a freaking weed stamp. But yeah, they sold the right, and then there's fat sauce too, which I know works. I have other social media peoples that use fat sauce on a regular basis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, good. And hold on, I gotta step aside again. Yeah, makes sense that they sold it for sure. Running a bait business is, I don't know about that style of business, but she's got low margins. I'll tell you that. And we need 4 packs of these, so we need 8. Ow! These hooks are so ridiculously sharp. And then my 1 ounce baits, like, they are so sharp, and that 1 ounce is like just enough. Like if you drop it on your hand, the jig, it's going into your hand. Like it's gonna wreck your hand. Not fun. Trust me. I do it all the time. Yeah, it's hard. I've made so my previous job, which I still do on the side, is I do manufacturing consulting. So I go into manufacturers here in New Hampshire and I help them be more efficient and run their business better and make more profit, all that stuff. So I basically keep jobs here in New Hampshire and New England, basically. So I still do that on the side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it pays really well and I like doing it. Sometimes I have clients, just like anything, I have clients that are annoying and then clients that are annoying. But I do that on the side. That has funded this business when it was getting started. How's it going, David? Been on for almost 2 hours. I've packed a lot of orders here. I appreciate you guys staying on. I appreciate you guys buying orders. Hopefully next time I go live, throw you guys a discount code for the live stream if you guys want. I know everybody loves coupons. And this is all straight hooks pretty much in this order. I'm gonna do big bag of 3/4 ounce, so 4 of those. And then a bunch of these things. And a bunch of lead jigs. And this one is also DHL. Going to Canada. So if any of you are watching from Canada, which I think there's different rules about Canada, US live streams. I don't think I've ever had anybody on the live stream from Canada. Or they just never said they were from Canada. But I don't think it gets promoted in Canada like this stuff does. I'm going to put more tape on it because, not that I'm worried about DHL banging stuff up, but if they do ever do a handoff to the Postal Service in Canada, Postal Service in Canada, since I've been in business, I've gone on strike like a dozen frickin' times. Like, I'll go try to ship stuff to Canada. Like, no, we're on strike again. How do you guys just survive up there? Yeah, right now I just got a warning saying, oh, there's a postal strike in Canada. But it'll still let me ship it, so. Yeah, it literally says this will be handed off to a rural post office. It might take forever. What normally happens is my stuff gets stuck in customs. Or during the customs check. And that really slows stuff down. This one's going to Jason in Edmonton, which I've stayed in actually Edmonton before. Smelt right fish oil, $10.99 for a 2-ounce bottle. There's 34 in stock. Yeah, it's a Fish 307 is the biggest Minn Kota repair shop on the East Coast. And so I called them about my repair shop / dealer of Minn Kota items, parts. So I broke my $4,000 Altera like the second day I used it. So I called them for parts. They didn't have any in stock. And I called Minn Kota, and they're like, we've never seen one of those break before. I'm like, oh, that's helpful. We didn't even know those could break. I had that much skill in breaking stuff. This one's going to Tom in Sanford, Maine. Get a lot of orders from Maine. Spent a lot of time in Maine. Actually, I spent a lot of time in Vermont. So Vermont's... you know what's nice about Vermont? There's no freaking tolls in Vermont. So I can drive... Thank you. Eat baked. Appreciate it. I can drive to Champlain in about 2.5 hours. It's a little bit longer for ice fishing season because of the spot. Northern Champlain doesn't freeze where the lakers are. It doesn't always freeze. So I go to Sebago. I went twice for ice fishing last year, and I went once this spring. I don't even know if I went to Sebago this spring or not. I've only been to Sebago once in the open water. I mean, summertime. But I definitely have to make more baits. This is the 3 days without shipping, so I just pulled a bunch of inventory off my cookie dough racks. Oh no, I know it's a joke. Thank you very much for the monies. So I can guide on inland lakes in Vermont. So I can't guide on Memphremagog, and I can't guide on Champlain in Vermont because I don't have a captain's license, which I'm working on getting. I just have to study a bunch and have a physical and a drug test. and I have to get a special certification for like government clearance, basically. TSA TWIC card, as it's called. And I have to pass a test. So it's a lot to do. My goal is to do it by this spring. I don't know if that's going to happen. White glow. So if you want to be guided in the Northeast Kingdom, which is where most of the lake trout lakes are, let me know. I can guide on Willoughby, Echo, Caspian would also be easy. Yeah, all those lakes. My best client days have ever been on, actually 2 of my best client days have been on Willoughby. But I charge a little bit more for Willoughby because it's a couple hours for me, or 2.5 hours. So I charge gas money for that. To and from, so it's a little more expensive. And it's the only place I've got skunked down last year. I got skunked ice fishing there. Probably because I was exploring around a little too much and I shouldn't have been. I should have just stayed put, but with the snow dog, it's so easy just to buzz around and hole hop instead of creating life underneath where I am. Which is crucial for Lakers. But we are almost done packing orders and my feet are freezing because I'm not wearing my good ice fishing boots. So I'm gonna head inside here. And I go fishing in, where is that? Oh yeah, you're in NZ. New Zealand. So what time is it in New Zealand if you're watching this? Middle of the day, I'm guessing? A Google machine lists 3:26 in the afternoon. Regular old work day over there. Scent pocket technology, huh? There's a lot of gulp, thump gel, gulp soft minnow baits. So I do use gulp occasionally in my videos when they're being really, really finicky, and I think it's just the scent. It doesn't really have much to do with the color or the glow. But I do use it occasionally. Mine as well. Add it to cart, guys. Add it to cart. It's all this $124 off Amazon. Most of that stuff's being accounted for business-wise, so don't want to use change. We don't want to use gift card balance, whatever that means. Place order done. This order is going to Chris in Howland, Maine. Favorite lake or reel for ice season? So I run Vanford, Shimano Vanford 2500. I use my open water reel. It has the best drag of all my reels. I use Circle Tackle's KY1000 reels as well. And that's because he's a sponsor and a helper of the channel. So I use all his rods, all his reels. But you need something that is smooth and won't freeze up. So cheap reels tend to freeze up and not as sealed. Even though the Vanford does free up, but it's like $250 reel and it's kind of big for that rod. So if I could get a Shimano 2000, that'd be better.
Good luck opening day. Thank you very much. On the first because we can't target.
Aha. Thank you very much. Good luck as well. I thought you could, depending on the lake, you can target rainbows right now. Just everything's catch and release, right? You just can't keep them. And I know there's lakes that are shut down in Vermont as well. But they changed all those rules like 3 years ago. And I didn't really read into it. I just said, like, oh, everything's open. But they don't make the rules clear on purpose. This one's S in Utah, which I'm guessing is someone who just placed an order right now. They've placed an order before. And sometimes if it's like a random order, I'll click on it and see if they've ordered from me before and see what they ordered from me before. They ordered in June. You can't use bait for trout before. Oh yeah, that's true. So it's artificial catch and release. Yeah, so if you want to use smelt for rainbows, which is the best way to catch biggins, in my opinion. Is trout dough considered bait in Vermont or no? Or like fake salmon eggs? Like gulp salmon eggs? Yeah, so I wish New Hampshire would be more like Vermont in the rules. But we just have so many more people in New Hampshire that it's I think that's why the rules haven't changed. Unfulfilled. Come on, now my system's freaking being funky.
You know if you should.
I can check. I'm pretty sure I just shipped one recently to Rochester, New York. Why do you ask? Most of my shipping costs, so I don't make any money on shipping. Shipping is discounted by Shopify, so I have a commercial account. If that makes any sense to anybody. But shipping was my like nemesis when I first started because I was shipping like one at a time for full price, and people were getting mad because it was like commercial rates are way cheaper. So it's between $5 and $7. My average shipping price is like $6 or $4.84. Yeah, so this year or in last year, I think, I'm not positive. Vermont started fall stocking. There's 4 lakes that they fall stock that I was going to hit this year, but I got lucky, and lake trout lakes froze. So that's what we be doing. And I might spend more. I mean, I have a bunch of guide trips in New Hampshire this year. For ice fishing season, I have a rainbow trip this year, which I have to go scout for. Six. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll be right back. I'm just packing orders over here because all the inventory's on this side. If you guys can hear me.
Which is the glory of having this lovely microphone I'm wearing. Rebounds open water and bombs in October.
That's funny. Yeah, they do some fall stocking, and not as much as New Hampshire does. And New Hampshire was light on fall stocking this year because of the hatcheries being there. One hatchery's at like less than 50%. One hatchery's basically closed or closing to be reopened. I think next year, the year before, and so then we'll have bad stocking for the next 2-3 years. And I don't guide for stock trout. Actually, my first ever guide trip for stock trout or non-native species, which crappie aren't native here either, but will be this winter. I'll be guiding for rainbows on Winnipesaukee, and I told them right straight up, the chances of catching a rainbow are pretty damn slim, especially where we're going, but they want to go anyways. And I have some secret tips to catch rainbows on the ice that I didn't share with. I've shared on some presentations actually. I was a guest speaker at a couple things. We are shipping out a crap ton of orders. I have my tote almost full over here. I gotta see if DHL will pick up on a Saturday. I freaking doubt it. It's almost 10 o'clock. Couple 3/4 ounces. Some more, so 3/4 ounce, 3/8 ounce. And I have a bunch of inventory that I haven't put away yet because I've been too busy with family stuff. This one's going to Ken in Rockland, Mass, which I'm guessing you were on earlier. And most of my orders are first come, first serve. So 16th ounce jig heads. And it is freaking cold out, but I got the diesel heater running in here. And then I have a glow in the dark pin smelt. So now I have to, probably after New Year's, I'm going to have to spend a day Well, yeah, after New Year's, unless I make baits on Tuesday. Trying to figure out logistics for work. Since my kiddos are all home for the holidays. I have 2 kids. One of them has never been on the channel. The other one's been on the channel a bunch of times. But if I ship this now, then I can be somewhat worry-free tomorrow and then spend time with my kiddos and my wife, of course. Supposed to get a couple inches of snow tonight. I'm actually surprised that it's not snowing now. So yeah, normally this is a $7.70 shipping the like Boston area mass. And it's $4.30 because of the commercial discount. I did not realize I had this many orders backlogged because I didn't pack yesterday. Unfulfilled. I got all my orders done, surprisingly. So I'm going to check if DHL will do a pickup. DHL. DHL. Courier pickup. I'm going to see if DHL will pick up, and if they won't pick up, I will leave you guys in a minute. Schedule pickup. And create a shipment, schedule pickup. Create a label, no. I have a waybill number. I have 2 waybills. This number is secret to me. It's not shown to the customer, which is what it is. I'm not sure why that is. And I have to type in my cell phone number, and it still doesn't make sense to me why our country code is 1, and then a lot of other companies' codes is also 1. Front door. And then New Hampshire. This is a residential address. Next. This particular package is 1.1 pounds. Sorry, this is like super technical and stuff, and I always need a tape measure. Don't know why they care. And I'm just going to guesstimate that it's 8 by 11 by 3. And they can only pick, no, can they pick up tomorrow? Can I pick the next business day? All right, so these have to be scheduled on Monday, which is what I expected. I gotta do another one of these. Yes, I do ice fish guide on Lake Winnipesaukee. And if you want to be guided on Winnipesaukee, you can visit my website. Visit my website, and there's a guide page, and you can click on a link there, say ice fishing, and then you can see my calendar on when I'm available. Because I have a pretty busy schedule. Schedule pickup, no. I have a weigh bill. So I got in Winnie specifically on the northern half of the lake, depending on ice conditions, obviously. So I think my first trip on Winnie is the 20th. I think. And I have not gone up there and checked ice, but I have people checking it tomorrow for me. So there's, if you just go look at that calendar, there's dates open. I try to only guide like once a month on the weekend, and then Tuesdays through Thursdays. So I watch my daughter Mondays and Fridays, who's 1 year old. She's not ready to go ice fishing yet. So I watch her, and then I do guide every once in a while on the weekends. So spots are limited, but they are available. And I think my good spot that's paid off the last few guide trips is Frozen. So that's probably 9 by 9, 9 by 10 by 3. I'm just guessing on the package dimensions. Looking at the 31st of January. Let me look at my calendar right now, and I will let you know. Let me look at my calendar. I also manage 3 separate calendars. 31st of January is a Saturday. That is currently open, and I only do 1 weekend a month. Try to, unless it's a special occasion. 1 weekend a month for guided trips on the weekend. So if you want that one, book it now. It's a $200 deposit because I can do that. And if I have people back out last minute, and then I usually end up going fishing in that day anyways and get video content. But yeah, benefitfish.com, and you can just go book that date, and it will either be at like northern Winnipesaukee, and if you want to go to Newfound, if it's frozen there, that's also another lake I guide on. So but I am freezing to death now. I just turned my heat off, so I'm gonna go. Answer that one last question. Yes, I do. Hold on. This is probably. I do fish barbels. Can you guys still hear me? Because I just unplugged my microphone stupidly. I think you just booked. I'm guessing you just booked. It has not come through on my other screen yet. Thank you very much. I guess we're going ice fishing. Sweet. Thank you very much. Would an ugly stick dock runner be okay? 36 medium power. Yeah, that's fine. And then I do fish barbless for Lakers. I usually fish barbless for Lakers on Lake Champlain because I catch so many of them, and I feel bad sometimes. So that does happen. And then I won't fish barbless with clients just because, they want to keep their fish usually. But thank you guys very, very much for tuning in. And I'll see you guys live on New Year's. And thank you all very much for the video suggestions. These are going to go in my pocket. Thank you for booking, David. And I'll call you a few days ahead of time and tell you where and when and if the weather's good. See you guys. Good night.